So I recently worked with someone who had worked really hard to get out of debt. They didn't have any credit cards, they didn't have any loans, there's nothing. But they were planning on getting a house in the next few months and wanted to improve their credit score so that they could get a better interest rate. So I told them to follow these steps. Number one, go to Credit Karma and create an account. Credit Karma is a great website for measuring what your credit score is doing. Now, the score they give you on Credit Karma isn't the exact same score that you're necessarily going to see when you do a FICO check for a mortgage, but it's a pretty good way to check which direction your credit is going based on your activity. Step number two, get a credit card. Credit Karma can tell you what chances you have of getting which cards, and it's always a good idea to, when you apply for a card, to have a pretty good idea you're going to be approved, because when you apply for credit and don't get approved, your credit score can take a hit. Number three, take that first credit card that you get and use it one time per month. Use it for something that you would normally buy, like groceries or gasoline. The very next day, pay it all off except for a dollar or two. Step four, wait 30 days and do it all over again. Get a second credit card and use that card to make another similar purchase, one that you'd normally make, groceries or gas, and use the first card to do the same thing. The next step is to do the exact same thing again. Wait 30 days and get a third credit card. And by the end of this month, the third month, you'll have three credit cards. And during that month, you'll make three purchases and then pay everything off on the balance with the exception of a dollar or two. So the last step is to stop getting credit cards and keep doing what you're doing. Use these three cards once a month. Pay everything off, the entire balance off on all three cards except for a dollar or two. So it's important here to note that the average interest rate on credit cards in the United States is 22.9%, which is absolutely brutal. It's important to take a huge dose of discipline when you're doing these things because that's what credit cards are for. They want to tempt you to buy stuff you may not necessarily afford. So don't sabotage yourself. Make sure that you're doing this exact thing, buying something, paying it off the very next day, and then moving on. And that's going to help your credit score go up. So obviously, you got to make your payments on time. So make sure you're doing that as well. In my friend's case, they were able over the course of about 4 to 6 months to increase their credit score significantly. And when it came time to apply to get their home, they were, lo and behold, got a better interest rate than they would have normally if they had not done anything and just had their credit be what it was at. So here's some of the reasons why this works so well. First of all, it shows the credit agencies that you're making your payments on time on a regular basis. Also, it shows that you have multiple credit lines and that you're managing all three credit lines appropriately. And one of the most important things is that it's showing you have low utilization. Utilization is represented by a percentage of how much credit you have available and how much credit you're actually using. For example, let's say you've got $1,000 worth of credit that is available to you, and you normally carry a balance of, say, $300. That's a credit utilization of 30%. The lower that number is, the better off you look to the credit agencies. In this case, you would have a utilization of less than 1% by keeping that little tiny balance from month to month, which looks really good to the credit agencies and helps your credit score. So, like I said, everyone's credit situation is completely different. If you'd like to take a look at your credit score and see what you can do to improve it, take advantage of my free Smart Start analysis. It's a great way to see where you're at and what you can do to improve. And the best part is, it doesn't cost you anything. Click on one of the links below. I'd be happy to discuss your situation with you as well. And don't forget to ask yourself, who have you served today? Thanks.